Come on, Foxy. Today's the big game. I need that. Foxy! Give me back my uniform!
Goosey, please put Mr. Twiddle's uniform someplace where he'll be able to find it real easily. You want your uniform, loser? Go get it!
Hey everyone, welcome to Let's Play Chicken Little. I don't know how long ago it was. I think it was in like March or April at this point. But I did a Let's Try of this game, if you don't remember, where I played the first 3 or 4 levels, and there was some interest shown by some of you to see more of it, and I figured this can be nice sort of counter-programming to Tomb Raider, since that's more of an action-adventure thing, and also a little bit darker of a game, not just in subject matter necessarily, but like literally visually darker. To have something a little bit more on par with the stuff that you're probably used to seeing on this channel, which is, brightly colored, licensed games for children. And they're a little bit more my speed, a little bit less editing involved here, because, this is a game whose difficulty is more on my level, being that I am a baby. And this is a game for babies. Tomb Raider is a game for hardcore preteens, and I'm not there yet. So I, suck at it. Anyway, astute viewers who are aficionados of the Chicken Little video game will know that I skipped a long cutscene that is a scene from the movie, and that is because it is a long scene from a movie, and like I did in the Let's Try, I am going to be speeding up all of the movie clips in this run, because you don't really need to see them, and also I don't want to deal with any copyright problems. I mean, no guarantee that speeding them up really does anything about it, and I could just get rid of them entirely, but I don't know. I like to at least show it, albeit, sped up. There's a difference between just cutting something out and just, showing it, but making it so it doesn't take up a bunch of time. And the scene in question was right following the dodgeball thing, and after the Goosey chase, which in the movie is about 5 seconds of Goosey chasing him around the gym, but in this game it's a whole level of going around the entire school. You just end up back in the gym, and then it switches to the movie clip where Goosey slingshots Chicken Little onto the fire alarm. I almost said the fire department. He makes him join the fire department, and his paper pants fill up with water, and his Chicken Little weenie is out. And sorry that I try not to laugh at my own stupid shit, but no, it's just his little undies. Of course, this is a family-friendly film. And he gets suspended or expelled or whatever, and then or not really either of those. Just Buck Cluck gets a talking to, and then there's a long conversation. The bulk of the cutscene is this long conversation in the car with Buck. Yeah, I dropped down. I'm awesome. Where he's saying hey, son, you should just don't talk to anybody. Just don't ever do anything in life, because otherwise people are gonna make fun of me because you're dumb. Even though he's not dumb, and he's actually completely correct about the thing that he's infamous for, i.e. the sky falling. But and Buck Cluck. I don't know if I talked about it in the Let's Try, but he is pretty much the worst father in any Disney movie ever. just no support for his son whatsoever. Only concerned about his own, social status in this fucking dumbass town of animals. Anyway, here's a fun thing. So yeah, now we're in baseball. We're on the baseball team now, much to our dad's chagrin. And I mean, I guess he's a little bit hopeful, but whatever, who cares? I don't know what words mean. Now we're looking for our baseball uniform because the bully women, took all our shit and scattered them all around the whole city, which is these 10 buildings. And yeah, I already have half of it and 4 out of 5 of the cards. And yeah, now I just need the pants and the cleats. Pretty sick. This is one of those levels in one of these kinds of games that I played as a kid where I, in my head, think of it as like a long level just because I would just spend a lot of time like dicking around and like, I mean, not only making mistakes, but just like wandering around and doing stuff. Like, if I were playing this the way I normally played it when I was like 8 or 9 when this game came out, I would probably have spent all of this video so far just fucking with the cars, just trying to jump on all of the cars and, just vibing, just having my own, just making my own little game out of a dumb background thing in the game. I like this low-res fire station sign. Because that's what I did when I was a kid. I loved stuff like that. I loved, like, in my head, I'm playing out a scenario. I'm, like, saying lines in my head of what the main character is saying, and doing all the wacky hijinks in the video game, like jumping on the cars, or... I mean, GTA was ripe for that. And a bunch of other games. SpongeBob games, of course. Anything where there's just like a silly thing that you can do in the world. I would usually spend a lot of time dicking around with that. Open Season was a great one for that. I don't know if I've talked about that sort of thing specifically, but I do know that Open Season was one of those games where I would love to just like dick around. It's very, very easy to do silly things in that game. And that was also the one of the main ones that I had the idea for, just a movie based on the video game version of the movie, which I've already talked about being like very silly and pointless. But that's just like classic kid stuff to me. And I don't know, did anyone else do that shit when they played video games as a kid? Where, not the movie thing, but specifically the, like, just what I was talking about with, like, you're like, saying the lines, the main character. Because, like, friends of mine, when we would play video games together, we would absolutely be doing that shit. Just for funsies. Because, I mean, that's what you do when you're a kid. You make your own little things out of everything. It's a lot... I don't know, you think a lot more in that sort of way. I mean, that's why, like, toys are good for young kids, because, your imagination is forming. I don't know what I'm getting at here. I'm just kind of rambling about this, because, I mean, this is, pretty standard, just platforming level of this game. There are gonna be some more novel levels right after this, so... And I said earlier that this is a baby game, and so it's more on my wavelength, and I'm not bad at it, but I also don't know if I said this in the Let's Try, because I don't remember what I say in every video, and it was several months ago, and God knows I'm not going to watch and look. But this is one of the many games that I couldn't complete when I was a kid. I just, there was always a point that I would play up to, and then I couldn't do it, and then I would stop and, play the game again. Just start from the beginning. but we're not quite there yet. It's in a little bit. It's not honestly very far into the game. It's, I think, maybe halfway through the game, and I still haven't beaten it, although I have gotten past that part before, and I'm not, like, stuck on any part. I just haven't bothered completing the game, excuse me. Although I did play some of this game on stream, which I believe the streams of those are saved on Twitch if you would want to go ahead and look at those and get a little sneak peek of what you're going to see here. And now we have the saving things that make the game lag because they're these weird things that do their little animation there. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's baseball time, baby.
Hey, Runt, Abby! Perfect day for a baseball game, don't you think? Guys? Guys?
Psst, Chicken Little, we're over here.
Oh.
All right, CL. Going into this game, remember the 3 C's from Modern Mallards Baseball Edition. Concentration, commitment, and closure.
Closure?
That's a great article.
Okay, maybe we'd better just focus on the first 2 for now. And we'll start with batting practice. Go get 'em, Slugger.
I'm just thinking of a tweet that I saw a while ago where it was a picture of Abby from the movie, and it just said, "I want to smoke a blunt with her."
Hitting the ball.
I don't know why it works,
Just
but
watch
it
the
does.
symbols as they cross the
So yeah,
plate.
here we have
Aim at the right
Guitar
symbol
Hero.
at the right time. If you do that, you're
Um,
guaranteed to get a hit.
Guitar Hero Baseball. I really like
And
Runt with the
remember to
pom-poms.
watch your timing.
I like Runt in general because he's a big piggy. I'm a pig fan. But yeah, you do the little, gear up to the baseball song, line it up with the plate and try to open it up as much as you can, and then when the ball is coming toward it on this thing, you try to line it up with the plate as best you can so you can get a fucking home run. Which I did not get a home run that time, but it's okay. I sucked big fat dong at this when I was a kid. I did not understand what the hell you're supposed to be doing. I mean, I got this part. I sucked at it because I have no timing. And it's just a little bit, I don't know. It's a little bit hard. But then with this part, I don't know. Like, in hindsight, of course, it's very obvious what you're supposed to be doing, but I was like, I didn't know. The first, few times that I played it, I didn't even know that you were supposed to hit A, when it hits the plate, when the ball hits the plate. I thought that it was just, if you had done this correctly enough, then the ball would work. So I was, you would hit the ball. And so I was wondering why it was, never working. Because I'm just a genius child. But I eventually figured it out, only to get stuck at another part of the game. And there you have it. That's batting practice. I am the best baseball player of all time. And yeah, now we have another movie thing. The baseball scene of this game is this movie is 10 minutes long. And I guess they didn't want to try to have a whole baseball game. That would have been kind of cool if they had just had a whole baseball section of the game. There's Buck in the audience. I never even noticed that Buck is has a model in this game, honestly. And I love the hey, like they're doing an Irish step dance. And there you have it. It's out of the park. One run and we're out. There you go. And yeah, saving cards. I love when games do that. That's such a thing, especially in games like these where you save at the end of each little section. Where after you save, it has to fade out with the last second of whatever thing you were doing, so you just hear the sound for 1 minute and it's or the end of the music in the level or whatever. Anyway, yeah, this is after he gets done singing "We Are the Champions" and he gets hit with another piece of the sky. And this is one of the best additions to the game from the movie. Or to the movie, rather.
Crisis. We can't abandon him in his hour of need.
Okay, I can do this. First the steering valve, then check the wiper signals and rear view pedals. Okay, let's go.
Oh boy. Hang on, CL!
Run away! Oops.
You got to...
Okay, I got it.
Ah!
I am so sorry for my non-excusable shortcomings.
Hands at 10 and... Before we head to Chicken Little's house, I need to make one quick stop.
Yeah, it's gonna be more than one quick stop, if you can imagine. Yeah, so here's the driving section of this game. I think there may be another one, but like later in the game that I just haven't done before, but I do not know. Yeah, so we are driving to Chicken Little's house, but before we do that, we have to do about 50 other things in the car, and also smash all of these bushes and fences. And this is a great example, this level is a great example of the, something I talk about quite a bit in my LPs of these licensed platforming games, which is just the sort of base carnal pleasures that this game and games like it satisfied for me as a kid, and to this day, because of the you know, the fondness that I have for these types of games where you can smash stuff. It's a big part of things. I mean, SpongeBob games, Over the Hedge, Madagascar, I suppose. All these licensed games, one of the things that really makes them work for me, and that was always one of my favorite parts of it as a kid, and is part of the reason that I like revisiting them now, is stuff like that, where you get to just smash all these crunchy things. They just make good sound. Later on, we're going to be tossing stuff out of the car, like newspapers and cookies, and that was great fun. The thing I was talking about earlier about, like, in my head as a kid, saying my own dialogue as I was doing something in the game and, like, being silly and doing stupid shit. This is a great example of a time where I would be doing that, because you can smash into everything and act like you're, you know, just being crazy in the car. I don't know, these kinds of things are very weird to, like, try to talk about, because they're just very general sort of feelings and things, and when I try to describe them in detail, I feel like I just sound weird, or like I take like this weird pleasure, or that I'm it's like rapturous, you know, enjoyment. I don't know how else to say it, because it really is just like a small thing that I just let, you know, you hit the thing, it go crunch, and it make me smile.
Chicken Little even have accessories?
It's impossible to, like, adjust yourself by going backwards in this car, because if you hit the reverse button for more than, like, a quarter of a second, you go backward by a lot, and you really turn on a dime here. And yeah, I just love spitting out these newspapers. If you hit the front of one of the NPC cars with a newspaper, I believe you can get it to, like, freak out and crash. But it's also just awesome. Yeah, look at that. You can just trip up a car with a newspaper. It's awesome to go, like, full speed in this and then just bash yourself into one of the cars. Sometimes they'll go flying or just, like, flip over a million times. It's pretty great.
Now step on it. It's past
Yeah.
dinner time already.
I don't know, this game is weird because, while a lot of other licensed games that I've played, they seem to have, you know, they do have their like, mini-games and their little gimmick bits and their levels that are kind of outside the norm of the rest of the gameplay, but, like, it's not, I don't even think most of the levels in this game are, like, the typical platforming ones, like the first level and the one we just did before the baseball stuff, it's really a mixed bag of a lot of different types of levels going back and forth, and I guess they expect you to spend most of the time on the platforming ones because they're the longest levels and the more complicated ones, but I don't know, it's all very different, and I mean, I don't know, like I said, it's just, I think, more of a mixed bag than a lot of the other ones I've done. I also don't know how long this LP is going to be. I kind of imagine it to be a pretty short one. I mean, I know it's a short game, I just don't know how short. Like, I mean, because this is part 2, and I'm thinking of where I could potentially get to by the end of part 3, and that would already be like coming up on halfway through, so I don't think it will be too long. And I hope that there's interest in this game. If people aren't super hot on this one, you know, I can always just have this part be up and not continue it, but I'm perfectly willing to go through it. It's not a particularly difficult game now that I'm older than 2. I don't really have much else to say about the game itself here. I do think it's funny that, for one thing, earlier Runt said he had to, he wanted to get his snacks, and he has just snacks hidden around town, that they go pick up. I think that's funny. I like that you pick up the groceries in a trough, and they're just, all the groceries are just at different houses. Like, what are all these sheds that are, that are ordering, like, cookies and shit? But, yeah, and now we have to deliver cookies for Abby's mom. Like, all of this shit was just in the car, and I don't know, like, I just think it's funny that, like, practically they're like, we can't abandon Chicken Little in his hour of need. We have to go there immediately, and he doesn't live very far away. But, oh wait, let's do a bunch of shit that's, like, all over the place, completely out of the way before we go. And yeah, now we're finally getting there. Did I ever talk about how the theater fucked up when I saw this movie? I don't remember what I talked about and what I didn't. I don't really have a whole lot of, like, complicated thoughts about the movie, if I'm being honest. But yeah, someone, during the trailer, someone pulled the fire alarm, and then at the end, like, at the very end, with, like, 5 minutes left, I think the electricity went out or something. It was pretty dog shit. Anyway, next time, we're gonna be, seeing what this piece of the sky that fell out of the sky was, and doing something about that. See you then.